and welcome in the ring to each and every one of you, whether you're joining us from this evening at home here in Guyana or whether you're in the diaspora. Let's fight. Good to see so many of you who are joining us tonight. Really great to see so many of you. And as you know, we're going to wait till we reach to the magic number to get going. Those folks who are joining us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, welcome in the ring. And I haven't heard a lot from you guys recently, so I'm alerting you very early that I want to hear from you this evening. So I'll be sharing my number at the right point in the program, and you are going to be able to call. I'm going to send you the link, and we are going to talk. But I'm very interested. I haven't had some of you in the ring for a little while now, so I want you guys to be alert that that is the direction we're going to go as long as we get our hot topics out of the way. Quite a few things to discuss this evening, and I want to hear from you. We've already put so much out there, so much information, and I love to hear from you guys. So whether you choose to come on with just your audio and not the video, we can go with that. Or you choose to join us via video, we can go with that also. But when you take the link, you'll have to make sure you click your video off if you don't want to come on via video. We can bring you via audio. Again, we say we're open to all and sundry. We're open to all and sundry here in the ring. We want to hear from each and every one of you. You guys make this program what it is, and we would not be the same without you. And we value that tremendously, and we want to encourage you to join us. We want to encourage each and every one of you to join the program and to come in the ring this evening. Some of you have been on the outside for too long, much too long. Come in the ring tonight. Good. Come in the ring this evening. I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing some of you. Again, we're going to wait till we get to our magic number, and then we are going to get on the way. So, holding for you guys, and I really want to hear from you. I am set to go. We have our information ready, and I'm going to wait on you. Guys, how was your day? How was your day? Did you have a hectic day like me? Did you earn the salary? Did you earn the pay? I hope so. I hope so, folks. Again, looking forward to hearing from each and every one of you. And as soon as we get to our magic number, I really want to know what's happening where you are, and what are your thoughts on the many issues that we have put out there since we have been for the week. For this week, we've covered a number of things from the board to the budget. All has sailed away. And so I really want to hear what you guys have to say this evening. And I'm set at my end, waiting on you guys. Push your body. Push your body, folks. Push your body. Good to see you guys. Really good to see you guys. And I want to hear from you. So as soon as we are you want to say something is on your mind, I might be on your mind. I know I'm on lots of people's mind. I might be on your mind this evening. If that is the case, let me see if I can give you the number very, very early. And you guys can come on and just say yes. Follow the instructions. You want to come in the ring this evening, just send a text message via WhatsApp. Say yes, I'll send you the link, and we're going to get you guys up and ready to go. So are you guys ready to step in the ring a little later on this evening? I really want to know what's happening where you are. Again, I would love if everybody join us via video so we can see who we're talking to. But if you're not in a position to do so and you just want to come in via audio, just make sure when you get the link that you click off, ensure that the video aspect is off, and let's hear from you what's happening where you are. Folks, we're waiting until we have reached to that magic number this evening, and then we're going to be right with you. But I'm so looking forward hearing from you guys. Really looking forward to hearing from you guys. So let's get going. I'm going to put it up early so you guys know which direction we're heading in. I don't think we're slated to have a guest this evening. My technicians say no, and so you're in the ring tonight. I want you guys to be my guest. But chances are somebody's going to stop by. Chances are somebody is going to stop by. I'm really looking forward to hearing from you. And I'm looking for us attaining that magic number. And then we're going to get on the way. We are going to get busy. We're going to get on the way, folks. All right. We're we're well on our way, and we're going to be at that magic number in just a little bit. And guys, whenever you come on, when you say getting on a low tone, it's trouble. Whenever you come on, we ask you guys to share the live stream, and that is the price of admissions. It keep us out there looking good, keep us in circulation, and helps other people. The most important part, it helps other persons to be able to benefit from the live stream, and we don't want to keep everything to ourselves. So, are you guys ready to step into the live stream? I hope so. Are you guys ready to step into the ring this evening? I sure do hope so. And I don't often get a chance to thank my technician, but I want to thank all the persons who helped to put the show together. I know we have been growing from strength to strength, and it means the world to me. So a good night to my technicians, no exceptions. A good night to each and every one of you who are joining us, and we are well on our way. All right. I think we are there. Again, I think I'm going to keep it up a little bit so you guys can know which direction we're heading in, and you're able to join us in the ring. Good. So are you guys ready? I know I am definitely ready. And I'm happy to have so many of you here. Again, I really hope that you guys had a good day at work. Whatever it is you did today, I know at this hour, some folks are still at work. Some folks are still at work, and so we are with you guys. Or you in our thoughts, in our spirit. As we say as Christians, you went in my spirit. You went in my spirit. You're in our spirit. Those of you who are still on the job and viewing us, guys, I'm so heartened again. From managers of large corporations, CEOs, meet us, call us, talk to us, to the storefront clerk, to the pump attendant at the gas station, to the guys at the ATM, Mushi, the security guards, all of the folks, always have a good word of advice or some information that they want to see in the ring. And we are ever so thankful for that. Again, you want to step in the ring this evening, you have the number. Guys, follow instructions. Just click yes. Just send text message. Just send a message to WhatsApp. Say yes, and I'm going to send you the link. I'm going to send you the link so you guys can join the live stream. And we're kind of picking up this evening in the hot topics from where we were last evening when we told you guys that Guyana is not a real place. And we still believe that fervently. It is not a real place at all. And I'm certain each of you probably have your own reasons why you can look and say Guyana is not a real place. You have your own experience that you can share with us, why Guyana is not a real place. And from where we left off last evening, we were proven right today that indeed the Ali Jagju administration is absolutely clueless. They are out to sea. They are adrift. They have one paddle. They have no engine, and they're probably drifting at minus or probably 1 nautical mile. So it's a slow drift with these guys. It's a really, really slow drift, and we understand that they are absolutely clueless, because in a bit of breaking news this evening, we are learning that the government of Guyana, the authorities, have suspended the search for the boat with the decomposed bodies. You and I know this is where we're going. Don't let me fool myself. You and I know this is where they were going, right? You all know it from the press conference with Ropes and Ben the other night that went wrong in circles like a circus. You all know when they had no information and the press conference, just went on, basically telling us much about nothing. We knew where this was going. We knew really and truly they said, we'll give it another 24 hours and then we're going to go home and have some coffee and relax. We understood where they were going, right? We ain't going to fool ourselves, right? We're not going to be delusional that we don't understand who we're dealing with. So they have suspended the search for the boat with the decomposed body. And it was made to understand also, we were advised that Trinidad has been alerted that the boat may be heading in its direction, right? Trinidad has been alerted that they're coming in their direction. What has not changed, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that the disappear song hasn't disappeared. Aye. Oh boy. Yep. And while Mr. Edgel and the others should resign really and truly in disgrace, while that was happening, we learned today that Minister Edgel berates contractor, berates contractor for sluggish work on Lusignan Stelling. It's ironic because these were the folks, Edgel and incompetent crew, who waited 15 hours before going to search for the boat. So they were very sluggish in their search. I wonder if Infant Ali is berating Edgel tonight for the national embarrassment that was this search, scratch off rescue. I wonder if Infant Ali was berating the Minister of Infrastructure, under whose responsibility is the Maritime Administration. Who is berating the Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defense Force? The whole Defense Force, the Maritime Administration, plus they say they had private assets in the waters, could not locate a boat of dead people with no engine. At least that is what they want us to believe. That is what they want us to believe. Right, Gloria and Rowena, not so? And Karen Clark and June Griffith and Carol Jacobs. That's what they want us to believe. Guys, as you're coming on this evening, we encourage you, as per normal, to share our live stream. Share our live stream. Share our live stream. All right, share our live stream. And as we're on that note, as a side note, I noticed all of a sudden DPI and NCN coming on in our time slot. I wonder why. Folks, because I have you here with me, close to my heart and my heart. It's competition all around, you know. It's competition all around. All right. Mohammed Khan, a very good evening to you. Many happy returns. Good to see you. Good to see you, Mohammed, and all the other trench crappers. Folks, don't stay out of the ring. I have shared the number. Just click yes and come in the ring. Right? Mohammed and all of the others. Send yes via WhatsApp to that number, I'll send you the link and you can come in the ring and say all that you want to say. You don't have to stay outside. Step in the ring, Mohammed and all the others. That is primarily why I create this program, because I always get the trench crappers on my page talking a whole bundle of nonsense. But they don't really got backbone, It's a set of jellyfish, right? Let by a catfish. So they would never send the message yes to the WhatsApp number and step in the ring. We are all about fair fight. We don't bite your ears. We don't kick you in your balls unless you start fighting nasty. Then we got to let y'all know we hand and left in we bottom belly. Right? So again, who is berating Ezra this evening? I wonder if Donna hold the low. Donna, are you berating Ezra tonight? Anne Marie, do you know? Shiraz, who's berating Ezra tonight for the national embarrassment? The national embarrassment. Imagine if Venezuela put a boat with an engine out there. Because we can't find a boat with dead people without an engine. Imagine if Venezuela put a boat with a good crew and an engine. They could drive rings around us. Rings around us. So I welcome all. As a matter of fact, I welcome not only the PPP folks on the page, whichever party you belong to. If you're a minister of government, a member of the PPP administration, I welcome you as well. Right? In that regard, there are no exceptions. I welcome all of you. Right? I saw Priya this morning in her satire girl or satire gal mode, abusing down Kathy Hughes, former Minister of Public Telecommunication, abusing down Auntie Cathy. I'd love to have Priya and Cathy in the ring. Priya, can you take on that challenge? Stepping in the ring with Cathy and discussing telecommunication and other issues? Huh? Right? Audrey Robertson, I see your comment there, and Michelle Semple Jones, Gloria Pod, I see all of you guys. Bernadette Parks, rather. I see all of your comments. As you guys are there, give our live stream a share. And you know what? None of the PPP trench crappers in step into front, None of them are step into front. Right? They step into front. So I have put the number there. And whenever you guys want to come on, I say step in the ring. Step in the ring. Right? Step in the ring, folks. While I'm on that, I am being made to understand that there is a Venezuelan settlement cropping up. I think this is in Grove. Let me see how accurate I am. There's a Venezuelan settlement, squatter settlement. Yep. According to reports, once unoccupied, the Grove Sidam East Bank Demerara is now home to a growing squatting settlement taken over by undocumented Venezuelan migrants and some returning Guyanese. Folks, you all remember the treatment of the folks at Success? You all remember how the squatters at Success were treated? They were tear gassed. They were shot with rubber bullets, or what we call pellets. The police harassed them. They were flooded out. I wonder how these folks who were squatting at Grove will be treated. But we understand that this is a country where we understand different strokes for different folks. Different strokes for different folks. Right? All right. I have some folks who want to come into the ring, and let me set them on the straight and narrow path. Let me set them on the straight and narrow path. And I really hope some of these folks are going to join us via video so we can see who we're talking to. Right? They're gonna join us via video so we can actually see who we are talking to. Quite a few folks want to join us. I want to hear what's happening at your end, guys. Hold on. Quite a few folks want to join us. We don't have time to play. Right? Hope you all, if you all don't understand that, you overstand it. No time to play tonight. So quite a few folks, and we want to see what is going to happen with this squatter settlement situation again at Grove. So we're watching, folks. We are watching. That being said, also, we also have been alerted that there's a drug shortage. Right? Not drugs as in cocaine, because we understand we got lots of cocaine in this country. How else you ship 11 tons out to Belgium? How else? So it's not that kind of drugs. Not that kind of drugs, ladies and gentlemen. Right? Not that kind of drugs. We understand that there's a drug shortage at Region 5, Fort Wellington Hospital. And so we are watching to see how that will be responded to. Several residents are complaining that when they turn up to Fort Wellington Hospital under the fraudulent catfish and jellyfish government, right? Jellyfish like Mohammed Khan in the comment section, no backbone, no spine, right? When they turn up at Fort Wellington, they are not getting any medication according to the medical condition. They're not getting any. And so we are appealing to the government because we know they watch in the ring. And we say, don't only watch, step into the ring if you have got the testicular fortitude and the intellectual aptitude. Step into the ring, folks. So we have sent our stream because some folks have that. They have the testicular fortitude, they have the intellectual aptitude. We have sent the stream and we're waiting to hear from them. And while we monitor the situation at Fort Wellington Hospital, we got some footage coming out of the Belizean Parliament, the Parliament in Belize. And the folks there have been livid with their speaker because their speaker has been bought. But the opposition ain't taking it easy. I have a member of the public waiting to come on. Let's take this from the Belizean Parliament. And I've been taking notes and taking training. Read the whole thing for you. The people pay you. Don't listen to us. When you have the prime minister, I'm taking training. This gentleman by name, and you are giving them opportunities to do that. And I am talking about good governance. What is your problem, Mr. Speaker? Amen. Amen. They pay me to ensure that you do your job. I'm not to black me. I'm not pay you for. You know what? Which my brother? Can I get a minister to name this person, please? You're gonna tell me. You're gonna tell me. You are a mercenary. Can I get a minister to name this person? It is ridiculous that a member of the House. Can I get a minister of government? There is nothing that I have done that is illegal or against the orders of this house. Yep. The man said they're paying the speaker to block them, to block the opposition. Well, that seems eerily familiar. The speaker is being paid to block the opposition. That seems eerily familiar. And finally, in the Hot Topics segment for this evening, we have a PSA from the chairman of the Regional Administration, Region 10, this evening, Mr. Deron Adams. All my Region 10 people. Encourage you to support the Farmers Market Day that has been initiated by the Regional Democratic Council, and particularly the Agriculture Department. This is going to be on February 19, 2021 at the Wismar Market Square. Remember to grow local, buy local, and consume local. Thank you. All right. And so we have a few folks on. Is Sean Anthony ready? Let's see what Sean has to say this evening as he comes on. Sean, a very good evening and welcome.
Yes, Mr. Duncan, good evening.
What is bothering you, Sean? What bothering you?
There is so much, there's a lot of burning issue.
You might need to turn down your whatever else you're watching us on, so we don't have that feedback. And so we have.
Why you turn off my phone for? Yes, Mr. Duncan.
Go right ahead, Sean.
I'm saying that there is a lot of burning issues that definitely need to be addressed. For instance, I'm speaking, for instance, of the Profit Rising Sun NDC. I don't know what is happening with the local government or the local authority there, because there have been so many developing
Sean, are you ready for us? All right, Sean isn't ready for us, clearly. Is James ready? I see we have a James on the line. Folks, as you come on, we encourage you to share our live stream. We want to hear from members of the public. And folks, we shouldn't have to advise you when you come on to comport yourself properly. Put on some clothes, right? Put on some clothes. Comport yourself properly, right? You mightn't have to put on a shirt and a tie and a jacket, but of course, I dress because you are important to me and I see value in you, right? So I don't come on in a t-shirt. So I am encouraging you, at least put on a t-shirt when you're going to come on this evening, right? Is James ready? We don't have anybody who's going to come and rhyme, you know. Do we have James with us this evening? Yes, folks. Again, once you want to come on, we want to make that available to you. The message is there. Send us a message. Just say yes, and we're going to have you on. But picking up where Sean was, a lot of nonsense is happening at local government, and that's one of the things we've been tracking here, right? That is one of the things that we have been tracking. The fact that you have this tyrant, this obnoxious fellow called Nigel Darmlal. This obnoxious fellow called Nigel Darmlal. Right? Very, very obnoxious fellow. And all of the mechanicians, all of the ways they have been trying their level best to corrupt and to confuse the local government setting, whether it's recalling local government bodies, councils that are duly elected so that they can put in their people. We were at pains to point out to members of the public what transpired, for instance, in Region 8. We were at pains to point out what transpired there. So we understand. We understand what is happening at the local government authority. And our colleague, is it Sherwin Holder, Member of Parliament, was keeping us abreast with what is happening at the Nile Scotia NDC and the corruption. Folks, we had the good life under David Granger. Say what you want about him personally. We ain't had this madness. We ain't had this madness. So I don't know if James is ready. I see James is in our backstage area. I would wish that they come on with some video. We want to see who we're talking to, but to God, put on a little clothes, right? Everything is not everything in this country. We know it. We pay in power. But we ain't so bad again. Right? We ain't so bad again. And the PPP trolls and trench crappos that in our live stream, in the comment section, talking a bundle of nonsense, y'all develop the testicular fortitude, grow some, and have the courage to step in the ring. Have the courage, folks, to step in the ring. So we're looking forward to hearing from you guys. We are looking forward to hearing from you guys this evening. I don't know if this individual, James, is ready, but I don't see anybody. I just see a name that has popped up. And I'm really hoping that I can see a face. James, are you ready there? James is a sleeper. So, folks, let me hear what is happening at your end. I see quite a few comments. I see Enid Greenwich wishing us a good night. And we want to say a good night to Enid as well and all the other folks. Again, we ask you guys as you come on to share the live stream. And your concerns are our concerns as well. Right? Your concerns are our concerns as well. Right? Kishan asking what is happening with the elections petition. It's there before the courts. The one that was struck out from the High Court, petition 99, the appeal is going forward. And if I'm not mistaken, the matter comes up for hearing. Again, I think it's April 5th. I'm going to bring myself up to speed with the correct dates, but the elections petitions are going forward. As on that note, the PPP are very afraid and scared. Very, very afraid and scared. And that is why we see all of this scatteration with them. Right? In spite of COVID and COVID restrictions, they're running to and fro the country. And the more they run, is the more the COVID numbers going up. Right? The more they run, is the more the COVID numbers going up. So I'm going to alert you with that. Somebody's asking why so long. I want to get some accurate information where it concerns the date of those matters. And so bear with me on that. Right? Orentia Gano is asking us to keep up the good work and don't let them try to shut you up. You are not in bondage. Orentia, I thank you for your encouragement. I thank you for your encouragement. It is very, very, very meaningful to us. Right? These are the things that keep us going. Right? These are the things that keep us going. Annabelle Clement is asking what is happening to petition 88. That is going forward. That is the one that was successful at the High Court thus far, and that is the one that is going forward. But I want to be accurate in my date. If I'm not mistaken, that was the date that I heard that was proper. I think it's April 5th is the next hearing of the substantive matters in that case. Right? I see James is back again, but when I bring James on, James is not saying anything. So I'm sorry. We don't have time to waste here. James, are you ready there? We don't want to waste time. You have something to say? Folks, let's get on with it. Right? Marty Hodge is encouraging us to continue the fight. And Marty, we're going to do exactly that. We're going to continue the fight this evening. We're going to continue the fight. We have MP Ronald Cox, who is wishing you guys a good night, wishing all of us a good night. MP Cox, is good to see you. It is great to see you, MP Cox, out there doing the good work for the folks. Again, folks, you want to be part of the live stream in a meaningful way. Guyanese folks, if it's one thing I ask you to do, is to be decisive. It is to be decisive. Right? A lot of people is be talking about protest and shut down the country, let me protest. And you call a protest tomorrow, you're seeing some of them, you know. Be decisive. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Be decisive. Right? The instruction was, if you want to step in the ring to make a contribution, send yes to that WhatsApp number and we'll send you the link. You take the link, you come on, and you're quiet. So I don't know what else to do. All right? Sometimes you got to read and spell for people. I don't know what to do. So there we go. So guys, again, I'm looking at some of your comments here. You have the number, you want to come on, you want to play a meaningful part. We say just send a text that says yes to the number, and we're going to be with you. All right, I think we're going to have someone this evening. I want to hear from you guys. I just want to keep talking all the time. I want to hear from you guys sometime. Let's get some feedback. What do you think about the issues that are happening on the ground here? And let's get some feedback. All right? Great to see all of you out there. Again, we take we pause to ask that you continue to share the live stream. Don't just be one-sided. Right? Come on, let's hear what is affecting you, and let's move forward. I think we're going to have a member of the public in a minute or so. But again, let me take some of your comments on Facebook. And see, Idol Rodney agrees with me. Right? A lot of people is Facebook activists, you know. Randolph Brown from Barbados, good to see you. A lot of folks are Facebook activists. They're going to say on Facebook and talk whole day. Do this, do that. Why are you not doing this? We ready. Right? And you said, come on, let me go and protest the NDC in Pleasance or in Nile Scotia. Right? Let me go and protest Irfan. Yeah? It's me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I. They disappear like the boat. Disappear like the boat. Folks, we mean business. We mean business. And good to see Maxine Headley, who says talk is cheap. So right. Talk is absolutely cheap. I have my brother here with me this evening, attorney at law, Selwyn Pieters. Selwyn, a very good evening. Welcome, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Duncan, and don't attach anything to the shirt that I'm wearing.
I want that.
It just happened to be a green shirt this evening.
Great. What's happening at your end?
It's cold over here, man. It's winter. Let me fix this dreadlocks. It's
if I remember correctly, Selwyn is joining us from the diaspora and from Canada in particular.
Yes, I mean, Sherrod, you're talking about this boat, this boat and this runaway boat. I mean, I'm intrigued about the story, the caper about this boat. But I mean, isn't it the Guyana Defense Force that has to be blamed for this? Aren't they not responsible for our national defense at territorial waters?
Yes, correct. Right. It is between the defense force and the Maritime Authority, MARAD.
I mean, I heard your discussion about Venezuela. I mean, whoever is responsible for that runaway boat has to have consequences befall them, because we're counting on the Guyana Defense Force to maintain our territorial integrity and the integrity of any vessels in that sea, especially if they're dead bodies.
Yeah. And how could you know what's the stunning thing is that it's a boat with dead bodies, no engine, and it has just vanished. It has survived, according to them, this cross Atlantic travel from Africa, where one group of thought suggested might have emanated from, and it seemed to have just disappeared all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's pretty problematic. I'm troubled. I'm troubled by it, particularly what I'm hearing.
So let us bring our audience up to date. Those that might have been living on the rock and kind of sailing. That we had learned initially that this fishing vessel with its decomposed bodies was found offshore, according to the news. Later on, we also learned that the boat was being towed, Selwyn, in from sea, right? And then we learned after that the mystery boat had disappeared. I think last night we were told that it might have been heading to Trinidad, drifting to Trinidad. It might have been drifting to Trinidad, and that is the last. And this evening, we learned that they had suspended the search for this vessel.
So it's a ghost ship in the Caribbean Sea.
It's a Pirates of the Caribbean. Well, dead pirates. I mean, you don't want to make light of it necessarily, but the thing is so serious that it's funny now.
Well, yeah, it's a ghost ship in the Caribbean Sea.
Yeah. Right. I mean, you were in the diaspora, Selwyn. What are your thoughts when you guys are there and you see these things happening back home? I mean, you've always been a middle of the road guy. And when you came on, you said, "Don't let the shirt fool you." You've been a middle of the road, and that is admirable. But when and I'm certain you want to give this new government a fair chance. But when you see this, I mean, what do you think is happening back home?
Well, I'm trying to give the new government a fair chance, and I'm trying to give the opposition as well a fair chance. I mean, for the government to perform effectively, it needs a very strong opposition. You know, the opposition shouldn't be weak. So, you know, as I said a few nights ago in another program, the parliament is only a separation of 2 votes or 2 seats. You know, so the opposition has to be strong. The opposition has to perform well, and the opposition has to sort of be responsible and hold the government to their promises to the people of Guyana. You know, you
Well,
want.
mhm. I was going to add there, Selwyn, what obtains is that the other side would think that we have 2 seats. You don't think there's 2 seats separating us. They believe that we have 2 seats.
Oh, but I mean, the thing about it is no different. I mean, when the APNU was in power, I was pretty close to the people in power, so I understood how the mindset operated within the power corridors, particularly within the APNU and partly through the AFC. And it's no different with the PPP in power now. I mean, I mean, as long as there's parliamentary accountability, the government will perform, just so that the scrutiny is not blistering in parliament. You see, so I don't think they can operate as though the APNU AFC has 2 seats. I think what has been happening, or what the perception is, even within your own people, because I listened to Kadiki Amsterdam in the morning, and the talk, even today, is the perception is that the opposition is weak.
So
That is what the
what
perception
is a
is.
strong opposition? What is a strong opposition? Because we were talking early on, a lot of people say shut down the country, a lot of people say protest, but they're in the front line protesting. Or, like you, they're, as one of Martin Carter's poems says, they're suspended thousands of miles away, and they're saying, shut down, rock up.
No, well, I am not from that school. I think what needs to happen is the opposition needs to work within its peer. There are lots of work to do to carry on what previous governments have done. For example, we need a chancellor of the judiciary, a substantive chancellor of the judiciary to be appointed. We need a substantive chief justice to be appointed. In May, there's going to be a substantive commissioner of police to be appointed. I understand that the fire chief has retired. All these are consultations that take place with the opposition. Constitutional boards to be appointed in some cases require discussion between the president and the opposition. I mean, the opposition who has just left parliament, not parliament, but just left government, cannot operate as though they're estranged from the government of the day. I mean, what I hear, the posture is, you guys call them, oh, they're the illegal government. They're not an illegal government. They're the government in power right now, unless a court says that they're not. And so it makes no sense not talking to them. It makes no sense not talking to them.
By the same token, these are the guys who say that we have rigged an election, and the High Court said in the one of the cases recently, quote unquote, recently, that rigging has to be established through an elections petition in a court. But that doesn't say that stop them from saying that we have rigged an election. And by the same token as well, this is a government that has said there are no honest interlocutors on our side, and they're not meeting with us. They're not putting us on any of the boards. They have refused to meet with the leader of the opposition. So while you are not in agreement with the school of thought that says shut down and broke up everything, there are some folks who are in that school of thought to bring them to the table. And it seems as though people only understand brute force and ignorance in this country.
No, but brute force and ignorance doesn't work.
Right?
The issue, the difficulty here is, as long as you call, look, I mean, the 5 months that had the interregnum between the going to the polls and the president being sworn in caused a lot of tension in Guyana, even between friends. I mean, I've lost a lot of friends, very good friends, who I loved within the EPNU AFC because of the posture that they took. And let me tell you this. I mean, the government took a stance that as long as the APNU AFC calls them an illegal government, they're not appointing them to boards. I mean, I certainly, if I had a chance to speak to Mr. Ali or Dr. Ali and Dr. Jagjo, I would have told them to tone down that posture somewhat. But I mean, if you call somebody illegal, illegitimate, and all that sort of stuff, you know, they may react in kind and not give you recognition, even though that's not a posture that should appear.
The PPP are hypocrites. And we knew that when they were in opposition, because they called us illegal from day one when we won the election. They said it was rigged and all of that, and refused to work with the government of the day. Nevertheless, we treated them as an opposition. We give them space to sit on state boards. They refuse. We understood, for instance, that it was the opposition that took the speakership of the National Assembly, the deputy speakership, and that was afforded them. They never took the opportunity because they had this posture of not embracing, not working with the government of the day, the duly elected government of the day. For instance, you had the consultation on the budget. They didn't even sought to invite us to that. They had the local content policy that affects the entire country. No thought was given to the opposition, as you rightfully said, that got a 2-seat difference in the National Assembly. No thought was given to us to that, and a whole host of things that should be happening that you have articulated, where the opposition, the government should sit down and debate. We cannot force them. We cannot march into the State House or in the office of the president and demand that they meet with us. But they must come to the table as honest interlocutors likewise.
Well,
so they say one thing when out of government, and when they're in government, is something totally different. And you saw, for instance, recently, when we were in government, democracy reigned. They were allowed to come into parliament with their placards to make a host of noise and all that. We weren't going to repay them with that kind of lewd attitude. We were not even allowed in the precincts of the parliament, much more to go past the gate.
Well, some people were in parliament and some people were outside. I watched the protest live on Christopher Jones' page. So some of you were outside, and I saw what happened with the former minister, Mr. Patterson, and that was really unfortunate what happened to him. Let me say this. And if the power brokers in the PPP are listening, I want it to be translated very well. Maybe
I can promise you that.
Maybe there ought to be a neutral, disinterested party to bring the opposition and the government together, because there are issues to be dealt with. Guyana's territorial integrity is to be dealt with. The Venezuela issue, the oil and gas issue.
You want to go to the Venezuela issue? We can't even find a boat with dead people without the engine outside in our territorial waters. You can go to the Venezuela issue? Oh.
Yes, and I go to the Venezuela issue simply because there has to be ways for the opposition and the government to work together on certain issues. I know that Carl Greenitz is still with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and he was one of your past foreign ministers and foreign secretary. But I mean, on a general outlook, I mean, the posturing between Mr. Harman and Mr. Ali and Mr. Jagdeo and others has to end. There has to be a rapprochement or a coming together in some way for the development of this country. Like, how long is this stalemate going to go on with a small population, 750,000 people?
Yep. Interesting. Selwyn, I got a question for you. If what happened here with opposition MPs being locked out of the parliament when your prime minister is making a presentation in parliament, what would be the response of the Canadian people?
Well, I mean, it's all context specific. It's all context specific. I mean, the Speaker of the National Assembly said that he did not order the parliamentarians to be locked out. He had no role to play in that.
So who ordered it?
Well, I mean,
because Parliament, the sanctity of Parliament, is under the responsibility of the Speaker of the National Assembly. So if he is no longer in control of the National Assembly and Parliament, who is? Somebody had to order the gates be closed, and opposition politicians and parliamentarians are not to come inside.
No, but you all have a committee on privilege, don't you?
Yes.
You know, and so that's one of the committees that could take up this issue. You know, I mean, there's sort of nonsense that's going on in Parliament with the talk about who comes in just to eat food and all that sort of nonsense. That has got to stop.
Well, we understand, Selwyn, that you know this is a good cop, bad cop. So the president talks about unity and oneness and all of that, and then you got Jagdeo stoking racial tensions in this country, as is his speciality. You understand me? So Ali goes out there and he stays above the fray. It's like you don't understand the politics. Stay above the fray. And then Jagdeo's at the bottom, being the demon that he is.
Well, I wouldn't call him a demon. You know, Jagdeo and I get along quite well. I think you know.
I did. And I can.
Yeah, so I think the way I see it, man, is luck. And that's why I hopped into the ring with you tonight. I figure, you know what? I might as well. I listen to your program every night. You probably don't know that, but it's one of the things
Well,
I
I
do.
know a lot of big ones listen, so I figure a big one like you would be listening, Sel.
Yeah, so I listen to it every night. So tonight I decided to step into the ring. But all the synopsis of what I'm saying here is that the opposition and the government has to find ways to work together for the betterment of the country. And the opposition needs to step itself up. I mean, press conferences and that sort of stuff doesn't really cut it. I mean, I'm not impressed. I admit, and Joe Harmon was my former client and a friend of mine. So I'm not impressed how he's performing as the leader of the opposition. Like it's the opposition is to keep the government accountable through parliament, and I'm not seeing it.
Well, I thank you for those comments, and that is what we say to people all the time. You don't have to agree with us to step into the ring. We might have differing views. I might have a differing personal view because you're on the ground and you hear people calling for lockdown and to shut down and to break up and to destroy and all of that. And just evening we had a conversation of this very nature that you have to be responsible at the end of the day for the actions that you encourage your supporters to take. But we are cognizant that it's only so long we can take nonsense. It's only so long. Because just today I was meeting folks who are asking what is happening when we get in the ward, when we get in the ward. And if you're on the streets, you know what that means. When we get in the ward, people waiting for the signal.
You're right, but then if the opposition party is the intellectual author of any conduct, such as that which happened in the United States, there are always consequences, whether it's in parliament or whether it's through the criminal courts or civilly. So the opposition has to act responsibly, even if people are calling to go out onto the streets. You don't want an outcome that occurred in the United States recently, which was quite frankly disgraceful, and a sort of a desecration of the sanctity of their legislature.
Selwyn, early on you spoke to the issue of having a neutral figure, perhaps being the interlocutor. Do you see a neutral figure at home here in Guyana, or we have to go in the region or in the diaspora? You look at things here. You think you got any neutral figures?
They're neutral figures. I'm a neutral figure. I have no bone to pick with the APNU AFC, nor do I have a bone to pick with the PPPC. I mean, I know the politicians at the top levels of both parties, and I know people in the grassroots level, and there are a lot of other people that are around, that serves that role. I mean, in Guyana, they must have people who are quite neutral. Neutrality, impartiality, fairness, all those character and professionalism, all those are important assets. And there must be people in Guyana that have those qualities.
That's what I said.
No, seriously. I mean, I can come on your show and have a discussion with you in the same way that I can go on Eddie Lane's show or Leron Brahma's show on NCN or any of those shows and have a discussion and not sort of twist or slant my viewpoint just to suit the audience. I say as I call it as I see it.
Selwyn, in your view, as we wrap up, where do we go from here?
And Sherrod, let me ask you this:
Right.
When you first ran for council, did you remember me conversing with you
in South Granville? Yep.
Yes.
Cannot forget those days, sir. Cannot.
I mean, it seems like ages ago, but I thought I'd ask you to see if you remember.
Yeah. I remember you going with myself and former Minister Winston Jordan through Roxanne Barnum and into Shirley Field, Wrigley Square, and all those areas there.
Well, that's right, and that was quite a while ago. But
Yep.
I mean, you asked where we go from here. Look, I mean, I say it and I reiterate what I said. I mean, the opposition, APNU, AFC, and the PPP has to engage in dialogue. Like this, we had five horrible months, and some of us are still healing from it. I don't know if you know, I was getting death threats, and all kind of vitriols were spewed against me simply because I called things as I saw it. People didn't agree with that, and I had to bury that. I had to bury that and move on. And I don't hold any ill feelings against people for what happened during those 5 months. But we all have to move on from that. The APNU AFC is in opposition. The APNU AFC would be well served by trying to build bridges with the supporters that left. I mean, I know you don't like Sharon Das Prasad, and Sharon Das Prasad and I are close. I think you know that, right? I like Sharon Das, just so you know.
But I got an asterisk by your name as well. Eh? No, you said that.
No, well, you didn't know that before.
Well, no,
What?
actually didn't.
Oh, you never saw the pictures of me and Sharon Das?
Well, now I have to go and do my investigation, sir.
Wow, you're late then. Yes. So I mean, I saw you told him off in Parliament, but he's now appointed the ambassador of India. All these things. I mean, look, I mean, in Parliament, people have to vote with their conscience. What if somebody from the PPP crossed the floor on a conscience vote, or two
Which
people?
conscience, Selwyn? Which conscience? The speaker heard the opposition loud and clear the other day, as the eyes have it, and he called it. He was dealing with his conscience, but then when he realized what he did, he said, no, 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 no. It's really the nose. Huh? Conscience in this country, with this government, with people that have been dismissed every single day, with our black businessmen who are coming under attack. This government got a conscience with the way COVID funding were distributed, pink slips more than green slips. This bigger conscience.
Well, look, Sherrod, this is what I heard, man. I mean, you know that when the APNU AFC was in power as well, a lot of people got knocked off, including Nigel Darren Lal. He was a permanent secretary. He got knocked off.
Nigel is qualified in nothing. He should have left.
No, but the same argument can go for some people who were dismissed. I mean, some of this is how I see it. The government terminated people of all races and backgrounds that were, or that they perceived to be affiliated with the APNU AFC. Some people they terminated simply to make way for their people. For example, in the cases of permanent secretaries, they replace them and send them to different positions, some of which are in the same ministry, but some of them lost their jobs. But let me ask you this: where are the lawyers in Guyana that does public administration and employment law to deal with these matters at the Public Service Commission? I mean, some of those cases deserve to be litigated at the Public Service Commission in terms of how you look at a permanent secretary, for example, tenure, terms and conditions of employment, and similarly move to a similarly situated position. You see, if it was over here, or if I was in Guyana, I would have certainly litigated one or two of those cases, simply for the value of how do you treat a permanent secretary or a senior government official who is in the establishment of the Public Service Commission, if you want that person to be moved from his or her position to make way for someone else. How do you do it that complies with the Constitution and the public service rules.
And those positions got to be treated very, very seriously. Those positions where it gives administrative focus to the ministry. I mean, I served with Bishram Kupin at City Hall. I have nothing against Bishram personally. Bishram isn't qualified in anything. When the PPP put those permanent secretaries in, they put up the qualifications. Bishram isn't qualified in anything besides having a master's degree in PPPism. May, who was at public security, got a diploma, replacing a woman with a master's degree, right? And lots of these people were had years at these ministry, were not political in any way. But as you rightfully say, people were moving them to make space for their own people. But what is the damage being done to the public service? Only time will tell. Only time will tell. What is the damage that is being done?
Well, since you mentioned the Ministry of Home Affairs or Public Security, I think that permanent secretary still remains in the employ of the Ministry of Home Affairs, but in a different capacity. I think she is now the director of trafficking in persons.
You know what I mean?
Chief executive officer, trafficking in persons, and the what you call it, the Youth Remand Center. I think that's her new position.
Oh, wow. Exciting.
No, it's not a matter of exciting. They remove her. What my hope would be is, even though they remove them and put them in different positions, some of them, rightly or wrongly, they've done that. The Public Service Commission has to determine whether or not this was legal or not. And it takes lawyers to take these cases on and litigate them. But hopefully, the permanent secretaries that replace these long-established public servants will still tap into these public servants in their different capacities for advice, because they have institutional knowledge. You know, if you're talking about Daniela McCalmont from Ministry of Home Affairs or Public Security, she was there since the 1990s.
Yep, started on there a long time, served as personnel officer, came through the ranks.
No, I know that, and I looked at all that. When they were terminating the public servants, I went to the Public Service Commission of Inquiry report that was created under the Granger administration, because it had a list of the public servants and it had their terms of service and their resumes, so you got a good feel of how long they were in the public service, their establishment. It gives you a good feel of the rules and how they stood.
Yeah. Agreed. Go ahead, Selwyn.
But all this calls for dialogue with the government, between the government and the opposition. I mean, the government is not a runaway train, or the government is not a government that's unrestrained by the Constitution or anything else. I mean, Anil Nandalal, when he was in opposition, I mean, he was very quick on the draw to file cases where those cases were meritorious, and he ended up being successful in almost every single case. I mean, the opposition now must have brilliant lawyers who can take on cases of a political nature, but on the non-political aspect, there must be very good lawyers in Guyana as well who can make their name litigating some cases. I mean, there has to be checks and balances. You know, there has to be. You know, I have no issues with the PPP, but I'm saying that there has to be checks and balances, and there has to be people who can litigate perceived or actual wrongs through the courts, tribunals, or whatever system that exists to litigate them and redress wrongs.
Agreed, Selwyn. Selwyn, unfortunately, we've come to a program time. We've gone a little bit over. And I want to thank you for spending this time with us. Ladies and gentlemen, Selwyn Pieters is an attorney at law, practices widely in the Caribbean, in North America, and lives and works in Canada. And Selwyn, I hope you don't be a stranger to our program. Just let me know when you want to come on. I'm going to call upon you now that I know that you're an avid viewer of the program for some more of your guidance.
Well, you have a good night. All right. Take care.
Great, Selwyn. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Folks, just before we go, we want to bring back our COVID information to you. As you know, we are still, not being very responsible where COVID-19 is concerned. And we want to say to you guys that you got to be responsible. We have to be responsible. And the figures have gone up a little bit. We have some more infections as of this evening. We have, let me just be certain. We have 25 new cases, which takes us up to 8,338. As you know, when this government took over, fraudulent as they are, you had 21 deaths. You have now 189. You had 474 cases of persons being infected with COVID, 474 confirmed cases. Today you have 8,339. Thanks for the Irfan Ali government, fraudulent government that don't care a hoot about COVID-19 or any other, or its spread, frankly speaking. That being said, we advise you to sanitize, social distance, wear your mask, forget the groups that are more than 10 folks. And even if you're in a group of 10 persons, remember to social distance. We see photographs on social media every living day with this government meeting and hugging up and kissing up and smooching up people, right? Social distance. They don't care. And you and I got to care. As you know, I'm on every morning, Monday to Friday, for an hour on Zoom. I invite you if you have concerns. Don't be like Mark or whoever signed in this evening. You just want to be in the ring, but you're pelting no punch. You don't have to agree with us, but say something for God's sakes. Say something. All right? Do something before something do you. Folks, we want to, again, encourage you to social distance, wear your mask, sanitize, and stay safe, folks. Thanks again to Attorney at Law Selwyn Pieters for coming into the ring this evening, joining us from Canada. You had some false starts earlier on, folks. You're going to join the show. You're going to open up the line. Have some decency. Put on some clothes, man. To God, put on some clothes. It was nice having all of you ringside, though. Do stay safe, folks. Do stay safe. Stay safe.